Fine. So may we start with the session?
Yes, good to go.
Yes, okay. So a warm welcome to everyone in this last session under the career series of the Teen Talk Career Series, wherein we are taking, a very important session on career in law and judiciary. And probably this was the last one that I was waiting for before we finish off our career series. And then again from September, we will be going back to our parenting and adolescent health issues. So, as we know that our legal system has many complexities and intricacies. This makes the legal system as one of the ever-evolving and rapidly changing industry, creating some of the most diverse career paths. From lawyers and judges to paralegals and consultants, law graduates can find themselves surrounded by opportunities from almost every sector, such as media, commerce, corporates, and politics. So we are here to understand what are the intricacies involved in taking up the career in law and judiciary. And to explain this to us, we have an expert, Mr. Shah Nawaz Rayeen. He's working in the law domain and has been coaching law aspirants since 11 years as a mentor and has mentored more than 4,000 students across the country for law as a career, and also has expertise in counseling parents for law as a career. He has taken 500 plus school sessions with the renowned schools of the country on building awareness about law as a career. He comes from a commerce background with BCom honors in accountancy and pursues law. He was always passionate about teaching. He has been teaching logical reasoning to the CLAT aspirants at one of the biggest CLAT prep platforms, Legal Edge Top Rankers, which has trained 20,000 plus students for CLAT, and every third student in a prestigious national law university is from Legal Edge. He has been heading this brand, including one of the new initiative, which is called as Judiciary Gold, where they prepare law graduates for judiciary. And they have even been able to give All India rank 1 in MPCJ 2019 attempt. With this, we invite Mr. Shah Nawaz Rayeen to please start with the session. Mr. Rayeen,
Thank you so much.
is all yours. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Asma ma'am and Jyoti ma'am, for inviting us and inviting Legal Edge and Judiciary Gold on this platform. So we have been training the students since the inception of CLAT. So CLAT started in 2008. And at that time, people were not aware about law as a career, much aware about law as a career. We normally used to have engineering, doctors, moreover commerce or chartered accountants. But lately, we have seen that this field is booming up, coming up with new career options. And today also, many of the students in tier 3 and tier 4 cities, they still think that law means that black coat, dirty courtrooms, and advocates. But it is far more than that. And to explain that, I just want to share a small PPT with all of you. Just give me a minute. Yeah, just tell me if this is visible.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay. Thank you. So in this session, I would be trying to cover the law education from the beginning, that is from 10th grade or the 9th students, for the 9th and 10th students. I guess in Maharashtra, we have this 11th and 12th classes as high schools, junior college, right? If I'm not wrong, Achna ma'am. So at the junior college level, normally when a student stands at is in the 10th standard, they usually have to pick the streams in every part of the country. Like they have to pick either science, they have to go for commerce, or they have to go for humanities. At this point of time, the students are not aware that which stream they should go for if they are aiming for law. So let's start that question, answering to this question, that do we get any advantage in choosing a particular subject after grade 10? Normally, we think that law is something which is more of theoretical approach. You don't have to do any kind of practical, so one should go for humanities. But that's not the case. It's a stream neutral program. That means you don't need to be coming from science background or commerce background or humanities background. It doesn't gives you any kind of advantage or disadvantage when it comes to stream. So we normally guide parents and students that it is up to you, whatever field you want to pick, you still have all the gates open for law education. You can enter CLAT via science, via bio, via any stream which is being offered in the normal schools nowadays. But yes, there's a simple logic attached to whatever I'm going to say, is that if you are still, if you're clear that you want to go for law, then we suggest that it is better to have humanities, because when it comes to humanities, the subjects and the syllabus of the 11th and 12th standards are a bit on the lighter side, and they actually correlate with the law. So the student will be learning about public administration, civics, political science, which is directly related to law. So in case a student wants to pick a subject or stream specifically for law, then will say it's a stream neutral program. You can go with any stream, but you're clear that you don't want to have any option B or C. You don't want to go for NEET, you don't want to go for JE, or you're only looking for law. Then to make it lighter, one should go for humanities, because in humanities you don't need to go for other kind of coachings. You don't need to go for subject coachings. Rather, you can directly go for law preparation and the law coaching. So I guess this is the answer to this question. Moving on to the some smaller myths, or some things which are the preconceived notions around law as a career, and we have seen this coming from very knowledgeable parents also, because they don't come from law domain or law background, so they're not able to understand this field. That is, one is, we have seen this. I've been taking sessions since 2015, and many times I have seen this parents coming to us कि यार बहुत रटना पड़ता है. So this is a myth around this particular career option, because we have seen Bollywood movies, we have seen Netflix series wherein there is a lawyer, there's a chamber, lots of books is placed outside a chamber in the background. So from there, this myth has been building up कि बहुत रटना पड़ता है. But I just want to tell you all via this channel, Archana ma'am's channel, कि this is not the reality. This is not at all the reality, because it is not any exam. You're not going to give any exam when you are in the courtroom. All the books, all the laws, all the acts, they are just for the reference purpose. The court will allow you to carry charge sheets. The court will allow you to carry the documentations, the evidences. So it's not about the learning part, the factual knowledge, but it's more about the comprehension of the things, comprehension of laws. And we, India, the one of the diverse country, coming in fantastically written constitution, our law is evolving year to year. We have seen that new acts have been introduced every year. Every 6 months, we have a new act, a new amendment coming up, a new change in the law coming up. I've reading the article a day before yesterday that Nitin Gadkari sir has introduced that he will be lifting up all the toll plazas, and now your money will be directly deducted from the Google your bank account, right? All the toll plazas will be directly connected to your bank account, so there will be zero toll plaza for the private vehicles. Now this is not a mere announcement. There has a proper law attached to this. Now the complete legal team will come into action of the government of India, and they will make laws to make it implemented. So every statement coming from any minister, any cabinet minister, or any minister sitting on a chair, is not a mere statement. There has to be a law. So the law has to be written down in a particular format, and that is why all the lawyers, all the advocates, they have to keep on updating themselves. So this is not about ratna padta hai. This is about gathering the knowledge, staying updated. The second thing which we have seen is, as I said, ma'am, that students or parents normally think that law means either the advocate or the judiciary. There's no other third or fourth options available. But by this session, I'll be explaining the different career options, that people won't believe that there is a stream in army, Indian army. You can go directly into Indian army via doing your law. You have many government positions wherein you can directly go via doing law. Many of the students are not aware that UPSC, the IAS cadre, or the PCSC cadre, they have many things similar with the law education. Talking about the placements and salaries, they are saying that it's not attractive as engineering and medical. I will again uh, I don't buy this fact, because if you talk about the prominent lawyers in the country, I'll be telling you the hearing fees of them. So they charge from 10 lakh to 15 lakh to 20 lakh rupees per hearing. And I just want to quote an incident. Mr. Late Ram Jethmalani, he used to charge 10 to 15 lakh rupees per hearing, and a hearing can be of 5 minutes also. That is just going to the court and taking a date. So for that, he used to charge 15, 20 lakh rupees. And if you Google it, the third or the fourth, if you Google that, the highest paid jobs in the country, you'll find law on third or fourth, or even at times at the second place. So this is again purely a myth that there are not attractive packages or salaries in this field. Many of the parents think that their child should be very good in argumentation, arguing things. If he is not able to argue, he cannot go in this field, because yes, in the law profession, we have been earning whatever we are earning. The our bread and butter comes from our mouth. Okay, whatever knowledge we have, if we are able to utilize it in the courtroom, then only I'll be considered as a good lawyer or a good advocate. But I again won't agree with this fact, because this is only first part of the fact. The second part is doing argument, but the argument should be backed by facts. The argument should be backed by logic. The argument should be backed by evidences. Someone who is a person who believes in arguing, just arguing for the sake of arguing or winning the debate, this profession is not for him. If rather, if you are someone who actually goes with the facts, goes with evidence, you have a radical thinking approach, you never attach your personal opinion to that particular case. You are above your caste, creed, and religion when you are sitting with a client. Then only this profession is your calling. And last but not the least, कि मेरे पापा lawyer हैं इसलिए मेरे को भी lawyer बनना चाहिए. As we all go with all the professions, came, if your father is engineer, he will push you for engineering. If your father is doctor, I'm all my apologies to all the doctors, but I'm just saying this. If you're coming from the medical background, you have a medical background, so normally you'll be pushed for a medical background. Here we have seen that because law is something which the country is seeing from 18th century, since Britishers. It's again a very old career option. The 3 years law at BHU, they are celebrating their 110th year. Might be in this year. So this is not a very new profession for the country. So they say that if you want to succeed in this field, you should have a background of law, so that you will be getting a push in the initial phases of your career. But again, this is purely a preconceived notion, because we have seen first generation lawyers earning very good in the Supreme Court, High Courts, and the district courts of the country. And I'll name some of them in the upcoming slides as well. So these are the 3, 4, 5 things which we keep on seeing around us, be it be parents, be it be students, that they have these things in them, and they think that due to these facts, due to these myths, they cannot go in this field. So anything on this particular part, if you all want to have any one of you. I guess I have some chats also.
So we can just continue, and we'll take, if at all any questions are there, towards the end.
Achha. Okay, ma'am. Thank you. So starting with the background of law education in the country, although the law has been there in the country since the Britishers came in the 18th century, but if we talk about the proper structured law education era, so it started in 1987. Before 1987, there was only one way of doing law, that was 3 years LLB. What is that? Okay, you have to do your graduation either from the science, you can do BE, you can do BTech, or you're coming from bio background, or you're coming from commerce background. The mandatory law was you have to complete your graduation. You cannot do law right after your 12th. And that is why till 1987, it was very problematic, very hectic process to go into law, because you have to complete your 12 years of formal education, then you have to go for graduation, and then you will be consumed for law. So the questions were raised, if I am already clear in my 10th or my 11th standard that I have to go for law, why I have to go for graduation in science or bio or some other stream. It won't help me in my career, right? So the professor N.R. Madhav Menon, he was the guy who introduced kind of 5 years integrated law education in the country based on the UK, from where he actually adopted the system. The system was, if you are clear in your 11th and 12th that you want to go for law, you can directly enter into law, which is a 5-year integrated program. Now, what I actually mean by a 5-year integrated law doesn't mean that you'll be uh, getting a post-graduation degree after doing 5 years of law. Rather, it will be a dual undergraduation degree. So if I decode this, you'll be given a degree like BA plus LLB. That is Bachelor of Arts. That's independent undergraduation program in the country, plus the LLB, which is again a 3 years of law. So if you attach both of the graduations, the journey was of 6 years. So what they've done, they've integrated both the graduations and they have taken out 1 year spare. Now you can do the same journey in 5 years. The good thing is, in those 5 years, right after your 12th, you will be started teaching about law. So from the very first year, they will be teaching you about law, different laws prevailing in the country according to the curriculum. So the one of the most renowned degree in our field is BA-LLB. Now, why is that? I'll be clearing this. Although we have BSc LLB also, that is Bachelor of Science plus Law LLB. We have a BCom LLB also. We have BBA LLB also. So we have different dual graduation programs. But yes, the most renowned one is BA LLB, and I have the facts to prove why this happened. So 1987 was the year the first national law university of the country was established. That was Bangalore, and still to this date, it is the number one university in the country. And through that NLU culture, the NLUs were introduced to the country. So what are NLUs? NLUs are like our aims. So we have All India Medical Science Institutions, one of the most renowned colleges in the country. The dream colleges for any bio student. In the same pattern, we have NLUs, that is National Law Universities. Currently, when I'm taking this session, we have 23 universities in the country. Fortunately, we have 3 at Maharashtra, Mumbai, Nagpur, and Aurangabad. And similar to this, we have 2 at Madhya Pradesh, 1 at Jabalpur, 1 at Bhopal, and all the NLUs are like the remaining of the NLUs are located in the different parts of the country. If we rank them, the top 5 are Bangalore, Hyderabad, Delhi, and then Bhopal, Jodhpur, and Kolkata. So these are top 5, top 6 law universities. If a student enters in these top 5, top 6 universities, we have seen that there is no turning back. So this is the story. In 2007, so before 2007, what used to happen was, okay, the students were required to write different entrance exams for different law universities. So if I'm willing to go for Bangalore, I have to write a different exam. If I'm willing to go for Hyderabad, again I have to write a different exam. So that was again a very hectic process for any aspirant, and it consumes a lot of time of the students. So they introduced CLAT, which was a common test for all the national universities. So full form of CLAT was Common Law Admission Test, and the first CLAT happened in the country in the year 2008, which was conducted by NLSIU Bangalore. Lately, they formed a proper body, organized body, that is CLAT Consortium in 2017, and now this is the body which is responsible, like our IMA is responsible for all the doctors. The Bar Council is responsible for all the licenses of the advocates. In the same pattern, CLAT Consortium is responsible for doing all the CLATs in the country. So CLAT is a main paper through which you can take admission into NLUs, and this happens every year. This happens to be the normally on the second Sunday of May every year, and any student coming from any stream, if he or she has cleared his or her 12th, can write this paper. But then there is another university, National University Delhi. It is the only exception which is not accepting CLAT scores. It is the only university which has introduced its own entrance exam, that is ALET. We'll be talking about in the upcoming slides. And lastly, the latest development was changing of the date. So CLAT from May was shifted to December. So in this year, 2022, in December, we'll be having the CLAT for 2023 and 2024 session. Normally, it used to happen in the month of May, but they have preponed the session. So now this is going to happen in the month of December. Also, in 2020, they changed the paper pattern. So that I'll be discussing in the next upcoming slides. So why we call this as a stream neutral program? Because of the paper structure. If you can see the paper structure, there are 5 sections. Out of these 5, the 3 are very neutral. So if we talk about current affairs, no stream, be it be science, commerce, or humanities, there is not a single school which has current affairs as a subject, as a mainstream subject. So current affairs is something which you need to build yourself. You have to go through newspapers, daily newspapers. You have to check on yearly compendiums. You have to read the magazines, and this is how you have to build your current affairs. So this is a paper which has 150 marks. You'll be given 2 hours. There's negative marking also, and this paper is strictly in the offline mode, that is pen paper mode, excluding the 2 COVID years. Normally, this paper happens in the offline mode, and this paper has 5 sections. If I name them, we have current affairs, we have legal reasoning, we have logical reasoning, quantitative techniques, and English language as well. The current affairs section has 2 parts. One is current affairs and one is general knowledge. General knowledge, when we talk about general knowledge, is a static general knowledge. That means when was the country liberated, why we celebrate Shahid Divas, all the static knowledge of our history, geography, politics. This is known as general knowledge. And we talk about current affairs, that is the latest things happening around the country. So that it carries 35 to 39 marks. This is a bandwidth, like they can ask up to 35 questions, that is minimum, and maximum they can ask 39 questions out of 150 from this section. So this is one of the heaviest section of CLAT, and that is why anyone who is actually watching us live and willing to go for CLAT, my message to them will be start reading National Daily, specifically the English National Daily. Either you pick Indian Express, you pick Times of India, you pick the Hindu, but go for a National Daily from today onwards. So this is the first step, the first baby step one needs to take if he or she is willing to go for CLAT. Then we have legal reasoning because it's a law related paper. So legal reasoning is again the second most important section in this entrance exam. And this is again can be built by watching some of the normal videos related to the vocabulary. So as doctors, you have your own vocabulary. As lawyers, as advocates, we also have our own vocabulary. So we use some Latin phrases, we have our own legal terminologies, and all those things comes under legal reasoning. So we have current legal knowledge also. So like current affairs, there is something called as current legal knowledge. What is that? All the current legal issues happening in the country, like the hijab controversy happened, like the Ram Mandir case, or the mosque case, or the loudspeaker controversy, what happened. So all the issues which actually relates to the law of the country, which relates to the Supreme Court statements or High Court statements or any district court statements, comes into the picture of current legal knowledge. So one needs to have very good current legal knowledge if he or she is preparing for law entrances. And then you have facts and principles based on questions. You have to actually prepare some of the basic laws like tort, like IPC. IPC is Indian Penal Code. So all these laws are required by the aspirant, that they should have some basic knowledge of this. So this will again have a weightage of 35 to 39 marks. In the same pattern, we have logical reasoning, which is again a neutral subject, neutral section. No school teaches logical reasoning. It's not a mainstream subject, but it's more on based on your IQ, how you solve puzzle. If you're someone who likes to solve puzzle, if you're someone who likes to play that tic-tac-toe game we used to play in our school days at the back of the copy in the free periods. So if you're someone who has this logical approach, this section is for you. So legal reasoning is a branch of we can say quantitative techniques, and this again carries 28 to 40 marks. Then we have quantitative techniques, that is basic mathematics and English language, which is the core of CLAT. So the complete law paper, all the law entrances in the country, not only CLAT, every law entrance happening in the country predominantly is in English. So you have to have very good English if you're going for law. Again, the complete law system revolves around two languages only. Either you have to be very good in Hindi or you have to be very good in English. But English give you a very good edge, because if you go for any state laws also, it doesn't matter you know Marathi or Gujarati or Punjabi. The first primary language will be English always. So if you are preparing for any state judiciary, if you're going to practice at any state, you want to practice at Maharashtra also, but then you want to practice at Haryana also. So then we say English is something which is the common thread in between the law. So this is all about that law entrances. But as I was saying that all national and many private law schools are accepting CLATs. So there are NLUs, but there are other universities and colleges also through which you can go and do your 5 years integrated law program. That is Nirma University, Ahmedabad. We have KP Mehta, a very renowned college at Mumbai, which is a part of Narsi Munji, a group of colleges. So KPM is one very renowned college which is accepting CLAT scores. So you can also do your 5 years integrated program. If you haven't cracked NLUs, you can go for these universities as well. And they also offer the same degrees like BA LLB, BB LLB, BCom LLB, and BSc LLB at their college level. In the beginning of the session, I said that I'll be explaining this part, that why BA LLB is better than the other kind of LLB programs. So it's Bachelor of Laws. So if you see, the LLB is common. You have BSc LLB, you have BCom LLB. The LLB part is common in all these degrees, but BA LLB has set its own separate league. Why? Because Bachelor of Arts has the subjects which actually complement your law subjects. As I said, if you take humanities in 11th and 12th, your political science, your civics, your public administration, all those subjects will help you in doing your LLB part. So BA LLB, fortunately, is the best combination if someone is going or looking to make his or her career in the field of law, because you are not required to study separately for BA. If you are preparing LLB, that means indirectly you are preparing BA also. But if I talk about BSc LLB, you have to prepare for the subjects of BSc separately, and then you have to focus on LLB also. So that is again a kind of difficult path for a law student or a law aspirant. Why I am again getting into that torture. If I don't want to go for science, why I am picking BSc LLB? If I'm clear that I have to make my career in the field of law, I should go for BLLB. So because if I'm an advocate, now I won't be going into engineering field unless the things are normal. Like if I talk about myself, now I'm a commerce graduate and now I'm doing law. So this is something which we see by our own experiences and journey. But I've never seen a law graduate coming back to the old stream. So law is again a forward integration, not a backward integration. So a lawyer will never go back to the engineering profession or a chartered accountancy profession or something else. Rather, law is again a very wider thing. Now we have even diplomas for doctors in the field of law. We have diplomas for chartered accountants in the field of law. We have diplomas for engineers in the field of law. So law is everywhere. So that is why we recommend that you should not do BSc LLB, BCom or BTech LLB or BBA LLB if you are very clear that you want to go and make a career in the field of law, because this is the only stream that will help you. This is the best combination that will help you in exceeding in this particular field. And if you take up all the famous prominent lawyers and judges, their major degrees were BA LLB. So this is already proven by the industry itself. These are the top 10 national law universities of the country, as I was speaking about. And these have been arranged in the pattern of their year of establishment. Also, the NIRF ranking, the National Institute of Research Foundation. So it's a government body which actually gives a ranking to these colleges on very various parameters. So if we talk about the best law schools, this is the list. I just want to read them. One is the Bangalore, then Delhi, as I was telling, okay, they have been taking their own entrance examination. We have Hyderabad, we have Kolkata, Bhopal, we have Jodhpur, Gandhinagar, Lucknow, Patiala, Odisha, and Ranchi. So these are the top 10 national law schools in the country. If you crack CLAT or ALET, you will be awarded this a seat in these colleges based on your All India ranking. All India ranking means that you're not required to have a minimum score in CLAT. Rather, you will be allotted a college on the basis of your All India ranking. So the top 100 students will be offered seat at National University of Bangalore because they have only 82 seats. So if you're someone in top 80 ranks, you are eligible to go for Bangalore. But then if you have rank 81 to rank 120, let's say, or 150, then Hyderabad will be your second option. So this is the way, if your rank drops, the colleges also drops. So if you have rank 1, you are eligible to enter any law school of the country. And if you are rank 115, then based on the seats and the allotment list, you'll be given the college. So this is how this whole college allotment happens. If we talk about National Law University Delhi, they have only 80 seats for general category outside Delhi state students. So there also you need to have to be in the top 80 in the ALET. Unfortunately, Legal Age has done this since 2015. We have been given All India ranks in top 10. And we have been sending thousands of students in national universities. And we are proud of that because every third, or now this year also, we have given rank 1, 2, 3, 4 in CLAT domain only. So every third or fourth student, or even now I can say every second student sitting at national universities are from Legal Edge. And there are majorly, if we aggregate all the seats, there are only 3,000 seats, and every year 50-60,000 students appear for this paper. These are some of the major degrees which we were talking about. Like Bangalore is offering only BA LLB, but if you can see, Gandhinagar is offering all the 4-5 degrees. So it depends on the college administration what degree they want to offer. But you can see BA LLB is common in every national law school, and that is why I was advocating about BLLB. It is the major course, and one should go for BLLB. And all the flagship universities, all the flagship colleges have BLLB. And if in case you're not given a seat in BLLB, then they have BSLLB, and then they have BBLLB. So even in the seat allotment pattern, the top creamy layer of the students will opt for BLLB. And in case the seats are full, then they will go for BBLLB or BCom LLB or the other different options. So these are the colleges and these are the courses. You all can take a screenshot of this and you can make a note of this. Now, as I was saying, it is not about the salaries. I have all the facts with me here. People think that in this field, there's so much a struggle. The salaries are not there, dirty courtrooms, low fees, and then you have to like run out people, and you're not able to establish yourself in the first 5 years. This is generally a myth around our career, around our field. But these facts, these figures written here actually prove that myth as a myth, because you can see even in the pandemic years 2020 and 2021, all the national universities, they have given fantastic placements. Like you talk about NLU Delhi, you can see 18 lakh rupees per annum they have been offering to the students. So fortunately, in the pandemic years also, every industry was facing recession, but our industry gave, I'm not talking about the medical industry, but majorly all the industries were going through the recession period. The downfall was happening. But in the law field, you can say there was not a drop of even 50,000 rupees in the packages. You can see the NLU Bhopal 14 lakh and even 15 lakh rupees per annum. So these figures are the real-time evidences that shows that in our field there is no a recession. There is no concept of recession because we normally we tell this to our parents also, that if you talk about 2 3 fields, they never have recession: the education industry, the medical industry, and the law industry. These three industries, they are recession free industries, because see, people will fall ill in all the seasons of the year. So there is no time wherein the people will stop falling ill, and that is why the industry revolves in the same pattern. In India or in the world, there will be conflicts. The mankind will keep on conflicting with each of each other, and that is why the law will be required to guide them. And that is why we say that law field will never see recession in upcoming years. And from here also, as in when we are seeing that the digital age is coming up, now more strict laws are required to actually guide that whole digital era, the digital world. You talk about Facebook, you talk about Twitter, the data breach, the data leakages happening around, and that is why more strict laws are coming into the picture. So cyber laws has introduced by the country, and now we can see in, or we are expecting that in next 10 20 years, there's a very good future in the field of law when it comes to cyber and digital era also. So these are some of the packages and placements, which is again taken directly from the websites of the colleges. These are the famous alumni of NLUs. Like if I talk about the Bangalore, we have Sudhir Krishnaswamy. He is Vice Chancellor of NLSIU. He is ex student from that college. Senior Advocate of Supreme Court, Menaka Guruswamy, Arundhati Kadju. She is very senior advocate at Supreme Court of India. NLU Delhi ki, if you talk about Toshit, he's a partner at AZB and Partners. It's a very renowned law firm, very big law firm. He is one of the partner there. From if we talk about Nalsar Hyderabad, we have Devakar Maheshwari. He's again a partner, dispute resolution at Khetan and Co. So like in medical field, we have very good hospitals. In the law firms, we have these kinds of firms. We have Khetan, we have Amarchand, Shardul Amarchand, we have AZB Partners. So these are the renowned faces coming from the NLUs in the country. The another question which students normally ask us, should I have to prepare only for CLAT and then again I have to prepare for other law entrances exams? Or if I am preparing for CLAT, all the law entrances exams will automatically will covered? So the answer to this question is, because the syllabus of CLAT is so much, the major exam in the country for law entrances is CLAT, and it has been the flag bearer for all the law entrances exams. So the good thing with CLAT is, if you prepare for CLAT, you are automatically preparing for all these 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 exams. So you're not required to prepare separately. Rather, if you prepare for CLAT, you can write All India Law Entrance Test also. You can write the Symbiosis Admission Test also. You can write LSAT, which is again a very good private law colleges entrance exams. You have Christ University's entrance exams, Maharashtra State Common Law Entrance Exam. That is, yeah. So Maharashtra State Common Entrance Test is entrance exam which is conducted by the Maharashtra government, and it is for specifically for the colleges which are affiliated through the Maharashtra government. And it is one of the, if you can see, I haven't named any other state's entrance exam, but I've mentioned only MHCT, because you won't believe that very huge chunk of CLAT aspirants go for MHCT because of Mumbai, because of Pune. Mumbai being our cosmetic capital, cosmo capital of the country, it is known as the hub of corporate law. So if you are someone who actually looks himself as a person working with the artificial identities, hospitals, companies, partners, government of India, so if you're more into corporate law, you should go for Mumbai, and that is why students go for MHCT. Very fantastic colleges are there in Mumbai and even in Pune. So that is why other students who are not part of Maharashtra, they also write MHCT. So that is why this exam has gained so much of publicity. In the same pattern, you have ULSAT, which is UPS Dehradun entrance exam. We have BVP CET, it's a college, Bharati Vidyapeeth of Pune. You have Army Institute of Law, Mohali. So these are the common entrance exam which you can go for right after your CLAT. And if you are prepared for CLAT, you are eligible to write all these exams as well. As I was talking about that, there are national universities in the country, but if unfortunately you're not able to make one, you have these colleges also, which are very good colleges, very renowned colleges, and equivalent to NLUs also. And you can go there and do your 5 years law from these colleges also. Like Symbiosis, we have Jindal is a very good college at Sonipat, Government Law School, Mumbai, one of the oldest law school in Asia is government law school. Even before NLUs, this college was established. Uh, Very huge alumni base they have. They have alumni sitting at Supreme Court of India. They have alumni sitting as judges in the Supreme Court, as judges in the High Court. So any student who is able to crack a seat at GLC is very lucky. So we advocate this college because this is a very important college, but they only take MHCT as the entrance parameter. In the same pattern, we have ILS at Pune, which is again a very old college, very renowned college, very huge alumni base, and students should go for this. Christ University, Bangalore, it's a very huge university, very big university, very renowned university, Nirma University of Gujarat, Ahmedabad, and then UPS. So these are some of the private and other law colleges through which you can do your 5 years law graduation. And why we have named them is this fact that they also offer very good packages to their students. So not only NLUs, these colleges are also able to give a kind of 100% placements to all the 5 years law students or the 3 years law students. So if you talk about Symbiosis, you can say the packages GL3 Mumbai 12 lakh rupees per annum. Matlab even top 5 NLUs, after top 5 there are hardly 4, 5, 6 NLUs which are able to crack this kind of package and placement. But as I was saying, that GLC Mumbai is very renowned college, and that is why you can see the numbers also. So in 2018 also they were able to maintain the average packages at 12 lakh rupees, in the same pattern in 2020 also, and in the 21 also. ILS Law College, Pune, then you can see the UPS, Jindal Global Law School, Institute of Law, Nirma University, then VIT Chennai, MIT Gurgaon, and BVP Pune. So these are some of the private and other law colleges through which, if you're doing your 5 years law, you can still expect a very good package and placement coming up. These are some of the prominent alumni of the top law schools, and our beloved late Ram Jetmalani, I'm sorry, who was very senior advocate, one of the very renowned person in the field of law, comes from GLC Mumbai. And as I was saying, that GLC has a very huge alumni base. You can see the alumni of GLC, from Lal Krish Advani to Bal Gangadhar Tilak to Fali Sam Nariman. All these faces you are seeing that are coming from GLC Mumbai. And that is why we advocate GLC. If a student is going for MHCT, GLC is the college you should target. So how's life at a law school looks like? If we talk about the 5 years law program, what actually is going to happen in those 5 years? Let's talk something about that. What will be the academics? What will be the practical approach? How they are going to utilize your 5 years? So they are going to give you knowledge on legal matters, on policy making, on technical languages of law domain. Case studies will be there, theories will be there. Practical studies are very important in law schools. So they will be giving you mooting also. So what is mooting? Mooting is a kind of moot court practice, a kind of courtroom drama, which is again a kind of competition which happens at every national law school, and wherein they make a proper setup like a court, which we see in movies and Bollywood and series. So you can see the judges are sitting on the bench. They have the judge, they have the advocates, the victim is there, the plaintiff is there. So the complete courtroom drama is being placed at the college, and the students will be given different roles to play in the mooting competition, and it's a very huge competition for any national law school. It happens in at the level of college level also, and then inter college mooting is also there. And because law is not only inside the boundaries of country, it is far beyond the boundaries. So you can see mooting happening in with the international colleges also. So there are many colleges which are able to have international mooting competition also. We have seen teams going to UK. We are seeing team mooting students going for mooting at America or Australia or Russia also. So it's a international competition also. Client counseling is, again, they will teach you what is client counseling is: understanding the client, understanding the case, asking the right questions, asking the set of questions through which you can actually enter into the crime scene only through the facts and figures without even reaching the crime location. So this is again a very important part for any advocate, any person who is going to get into the field of law. You need to understand the client. You need to have the right have those right set of questions. So you can see here the students are there, and then on the other side you can see the judges are there, and they're mapping what kind of questions the lawyer is asking from the client. We have article writing also. So article writing is, again, as I was saying, that it is not layman language. If we talk about law, it is a very technical language. The vocabulary is different, the terminology is different, the definition changes. Even a single comma can change the whole meaning of the statement. That is why article writing is a very prominent thing at law schools, and students have been trained to write proper articles, interpreting the statements of the court, interpreting the statements, the judgments, the statements of the judges. Because if you're not able to rightly interpret what they have said, then in that case, your wrong interpretation will damage the client. So you need to understand the actual meaning of the statement. And this also gives you an entry in the legal journalism field also. So whatever news we see, if it has a legal thing attached to it, there will be a legal journalist working in the company. So many people, as I was saying, that we are not aware about the different career options. Legal journalism is one of the prominent field which actually comes from domain. You don't need to come from the journalist field. If you are a law student, you can you can enter into the legal journalism also. Debating, which is a very important part of courtroom drama. That is why they will make sure in these 5 years you are very good at debating. And that is why we are written here debating, not argument, because you need to understand how to use the facts, how to use the case laws, how to use the actual acts, and what kind of articles and phrases should be used in front of honorable judges. So the debating is a very important competition which happens at every national law school. Mediation, they will tell you. So a mediator is a person who actually mediate between the two parties, and they make sure that if you can handle or if you can solve the case outside the court. So this is again a skill which is required by every advocate, and this again it's a proper legal thing to settle down the case before entering into the court. That is also allowed, legally allowed. That is a proper field is there. Arbitration, we called it. Okay, if the advocate is smart enough and is able to actually consult both the parties, counsel them, and he or she can resolve the case. So that's a very good thing to have, because now both the parties are free to go for hearing again and again, because we also know that in India, justice comes, but justice comes at a cost of time. So that's why. And then you have to go for internships also. The internship, that means you have to practice under lawyers in the real time court. You have to if you're staying at Mumbai, so you might go to High Court for internship. If you are at Delhi, you can go for internship to Supreme Courts, High Courts, and the district courts as well. But internships are very important part of your studies in these 5 years, because if you are not able to find any internship, you are not able to get your final graduation done. So they will make sure that you do a proper internship under a proper lawyer or the law firm. And this is how your 5 years will look like. And after those 5 years, you are now free to either pursue your post graduation, or you can go directly with your packages and placements. So if I talk about some of the major options available, one is the judicial services, because it's a government post, very highly respected post. The Supreme Court of India, the CJI, Chief Justice of India, uh, I guess only 1% of the public knows about this, that he is the most powerful position as per the Constitution of India, after the president. So not even the prime minister. The CJI is the highest reputed and most powerful post in the country. So CJI is a person who can actually can file a case against the Prime Minister of India also, and even anyone coming in front of him. So constitutionally, it's a very highly reputed post. So plus this comes with lots of perks also, and it's a government position, so it's way higher than your IAS and IPS officers. So judges are the highest, I would say, the highest bureaucratic post one can dream of. And if you want to go for judicial services, you just need to have LLB, that is either your 3 years LLB or 5 years LLB. And every state has its own judiciary examinations. Like Maharashtra state, they have their own set of examination. MP, they have MP is they do the MPCJ, that is Madhya Pradesh Civil Judge examination. In the same pattern, we have at Delhi, we have Jharkhand. So every state, almost every state conducts its own entrance exam. There are 3 phases through which you can become a judge. First, you have to go for a prelim like UPSC. So there is a preliminary examination, which is a MCQ based test based on your BBA of knowledge and your law knowledge. Then you have a mains test like UPSC. It's a written test, it's a subjective test. And then they'll be calling you for an interview. So if you are able to clear all these 3 stages, then you will be given a post of class 2 officer at a district court. So you cannot directly become a Supreme Court judge or a High Court judge, or directly an ADG or a DJ, that is district judge. You will be given a post of class 2 officer, which is a kind of scale 2 or 3 if we talk about the perks and salaries. But this is the way you can enter into judicial services. And every every law graduate is eligible to go for any state entrance exam. So it doesn't matter what's your domicile. You can write any state examination. But yes, at Maharashtra, like if you talk about Maharashtra, they have Marathi as one of the prominent language. So if you're not good at Marathi, if you're someone coming from North India or South India, don't know about Marathi, then you can avoid going for that because it is a part of examination. But there are 10 other states wherein if you have the knowledge of English and Hindi, then you can directly go for those states. Like you have Delhi, Haryana, Rajasthan, Jharkhand, then Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh. If I repeat them, so talking from north, we have Haryana, then we have Uttarakhand, then we have UP, Delhi, Rajasthan, MP, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, and Bihar. So these are prominent states where the local language is not playing any role, and you can go for these states. And at Judiciary Gold, we actually prepare for these states only. Litigation, as we know that black coat and the dirty coats. So what we call them as advocate, for us, it's a litigation. It's a proper profession. In litigation, you can again go for any kind of litigation. You can go for corporate law. You can go for civil law. You can go for criminal law. The good thing with litigation is, as a lawyer, as an advocate, in those 5 years or 3 years of law education, they will be teaching you all the kinds of laws. They'll be teaching you criminal laws. They'll be teaching you civil laws. They'll be teaching you all the kinds of laws. So you are not required to practice in a particular field. You are eligible to go for any kind of cases, not like a doctor. If you're a heart surgeon, now you cannot take up the cases of a dentist, right? Because you become a specialist over there. But here at law, over the period of time, it depends on the lawyer that he or she is taking a particular kind of cases. Then it's a different matter. But that doesn't mean a civil law cannot take up a cases of criminal law, or a criminal lawyer cannot take a case of civil law. So because the education system or the curriculum is like that, they will be teaching you all the kinds of laws prevailing in the country. Corporate law is not a different field, rather it's a part of it. It's an integrated part of litigation. But because corporate law deals into two artificial identities, two different companies, two institutions, that is why we talk about corporate law in a separate slide. So if you are someone who's working with Airtel or BSNL, or you are representing the any hospital, any institution, any college, any school, any company, any firm, if you are representing any artificial institution, then you'll be part of corporate law. So if a case happens between a company and a person, or between the two companies, or between the two artificial identities, then those kinds of cases are termed as corporate law cases. Packages are very high in corporate law because again they have to deal with the companies. So you talk about Airtel, Jio, Tata, Reliance, all these big corporate firms, they hire a proper team of corporate lawyers. And because at Reliance they won't be fighting for lakhs of rupees, rather they will be fighting for crores and thousands of crores of rupees, because they're at their level, the kind of compensation they have been charged is very huge. And that is why there the team of corporate lawyers will also be getting the fees according to the kind of case they're fighting. As I said, that civil services are directly related with our law, because as a IS officer, as an IPS officer, you'll be dealing with the bylaws of the country. Plus, at the time of preparation for IAS and IPS, the subjects actually match with your law education. That is why we have seen that students going from law background, they do very good when they go for IAS and IPS and IFS or UPSC preparations, as compared to the students who are going from science or commerce or other streams. Because as I said, the subjects in law actually complement the subjects of UPSC and PSC as well. So you can go for civil services examinations. Then we have academia, as all the fields also have. We too have 900 plus colleges in the country. The field is still growing. The aspirants are growing, and then hence the need for professors are highly required. Very good packages are there. If we talk about NLUs, 1.5 to 2 lakh rupees per month they will give you as an assistant professor. So if you complete your law, and this is only right after your law graduation. So even you're not even required to complete your masters. You can directly start teaching even after you have done your LLB. But yes, going further, you need to go for your masters and PhD as well. But yes, academics is a very good option, very good field open for the law students. Legal process outsourcing is another kind of option which you can go for. That is, when we talk about law at foreign countries, the law is very expensive in the Gulf countries, or at UK, at America, Australia. So there, because people are aware, the charges are very high. Matlab, people cannot afford lawyers normally. People avoid going to court. Here, not like our country. Okay, you have police station at every 5 kilometers, and you can file a case randomly going there. So there, people are aware that filing a case will involve a lot of money. So that is why people are very conscious. And due to this, there is a huge gap between the law and the local citizen. So what LPOs are doing, LPOs are those firms who actually hire Indian students, Indian lawyers, Indian advocates, and they do the paralegal documentation. The documentation part is done by these students and these kinds of uh, this particular kind of advocates, and they'll be working for that foreign client, but via LPOs. So LPOs normally comes to your NLUs and all those colleges, and they directly hire the students for LPOs. And again, here also the packages and placements are very attractive. Entrepreneurship, as again, it is again a very stream neutral thing. So entrepreneurship is something which you can, again, anytime you can start with. You can start your own law firm, you can start your own practice, you can start your own college also, you can start your own LPOs also. So all the options which I was explaining above, you have this as entrepreneurship also. So you can start your own things also. And nowadays we can see many legal startups coming up which have been funded also now, and they are doing very good. legal journalism, as I was saying, that it's a part of mainstream journalism, but the legal journalist is someone who actually decodes those kinds of legal issues which are happening around the country. Like if there is a statement passed by the Supreme Court of the India, or the High Court, or any case which has a national importance, the legal journalist will cover that case, not a normal journalist. Why? Because decoding the statements of court is a matter of, it's like very highly, it's a very difficult task to decode the legal terminologies. And if you are someone and on national television, if you are quoting the court in a wrong way, or any kind of misinterpreting the statements of the court, in that case, the whole company can be sued by the government of India, can be by the court of India. So they can again come into legal troubles. That is why they need to have proper legal team of proper legal journalists. And they are again the students who have done the LLB, either from the 3 years or 5 years, and they have been directly consumed by these journalism firms. So these are some of the career options. Beside those options, we still have many more. If you all have any kind of doubts and questions, we will be taking up in our next half of the session. Plus, if you talk about essential skills one should have if you are looking to see yourself in this field, you should have these 5 things mandatorily. Out of these 5, many of the things can be developed over the period of time. It doesn't matter कि आपके पास अभी नहीं है, तो क्या आप ये नहीं कर पाएंगे, ऐसा नहीं है. You should be very good at communication, but communication doesn't comes directly from something. It is something which, it's a skill which can be developed over the period of time. So I believe in learning, always learning. So if you have a always learning attitude, you can build this. Analytical approach. Now, this is something which you need to be very good at, because you cannot attach your personal opinion with the client or the case or the scenario. If you're someone who is driven by your personal thoughts, personal opinion, your background, your caste, your creed, your religion, then you're not able to make this field. If you're a lawyer or if you're a judge, you have to be a very neutral kind of person. You have to see the case with both the lenses. Your lenses should be neutral, and that is why analytical approach is highly required. Research oriented, as we all see, that every 6 months new laws are coming up, new cases are coming up, new kinds of facts are coming up, new kinds of amendments are coming up. That is why a lawyer is always required to keep very high research, very highly updated with the real-time laws happening in the country. And that is why your research skill should be very sharp. See, there are thousands of lawyers in the country, but then why I was showing some of the pictures of the prominent lawyers. So what was the different? Was the law different? Was their education different? No, their research approach was different. A same lawyer, 2 lawyers fighting in a court, why is the thing that one is winning the case and the other one is losing the case? Because of his personal research. Doing the research at a level wherein you can quote the different kinds of cases, the past cases, past statements, and again backing up your evidences with your statements. This is the main thing which will take you to another league of lawyers or advocates, or will give you success in this field. Good time management person, because see, you'll be having different kind of cases happening at the same point of time. You might have a criminal case, you might have a civil case, you might have 10 different public related cases, you might have 10 to 15 family court cases also. So you need to understand your time, you need to devote your time accordingly, and you should be very good in switching between the cases, because at family court you might be fighting for a different thing, and at a corporate court you'll be fighting for a different thing. So you should be very good in your time management thing also. And humanitarian skills, as humanitarian skills here, wherein you can attach some of the feelings with the law also. You are someone who actually get into the shoes of the client. If you're someone who actually understand the client in the ways, or the tragedy happened with him, if you are able to get into that level of degree of understanding, then we have seen that the advocates will perform accordingly. But if you're someone who is not able to do that, who is only going through the facts and figures, who's not able to attach that kind of feeling, then it's a hard time for you. So with this, I would conclude this session. Okay, these are the things you can go for, and these are the ways you can start your journey if you're in 10th and you're looking for, or 9th, you're looking to make your career in field of law. I hope I was able to share a bit of knowledge, and this might have been useful for all your audiences, ma'am. Up to you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think you were absolutely clear in how people can choose, law as a career, and what exactly are they going to have to deal with, and what are the career options they can pursue once they do law. So you were absolutely clear in all the aspects, and I'm sure anybody who's looking at the show and who's going to be looking at the show later on through the recording that we are going to be having permanently on YouTube, people are going to be finding it very, very useful. Now we have few questions over here. What about people who have already done graduation? How do they opt for the career in law?
So, the 3 years law is still prevailing in the country. So, as I was talking about the 5 years law, the 3 years law is the first ever option came into the country when the Britishers came, and that is still prevailing in the country. So, every university who's having 5 years law is having the 3 years law also. So, one if one has completed the graduation, they can go for 3 years LLB course from Maharashtra colleges also, from Delhi University also, from Banaras Hindu University also. So these universities are still offering that 3 years LLB program, and you need to appear into that their entrance examination, which the university conducts at their own level.
So all these entrances are not common entrances. They are at individual level. Once if you are doing a 3-year law course after graduation, or say somebody's done a post-graduation, then if they want to do law, so there is no common entrance exam like we have CLAT or LSAT or something. I mean, do they have to give it individually through the universities which they are applying for?
Only one exam is common in this field, that is which is recently introduced by the central government, that is CUET, Central
QET.
University
Okay.
Entrance Test. So now that is the test which is recently introduced, and this year it has already happened. So all the universities, the 45 central universities affiliated through CUET, if they are offering the 3 years LLB, like BHU is offering 3 years LLB, it's a very good university you can go for. Then Gauri Shankar Prasad at Sagar, Madhya Pradesh, it's a central university. They are offering the 3 years law program. So these are 3, 4 good universities from where you can go for you can pursue your 3 years law, but you have to write the CUET. But if you talk about the other colleges, even the DU is a part of CUET now. So you can go for Delhi University as well. But if you are living at Maharashtra and you want to go for GLC, want to go for ILS, so then you have to write MHCT, right? So MHCT will give you entrance into the Maharashtra colleges, which are offering 5 years law also and the 3 years law also. But the paper will be different, right?
Okay.
The 5 years MHCT will be different paper, and the 3 years LLB paper will be different.
Okay.
The paper
So
pattern.
through MHCET, if anybody wants to get into a 3-year law program after doing graduation or post-graduation, they can appear for MHCET and get into the law colleges of Maharashtra.
Yes,
Right.
yes,
So
absolutely.
is there any age limit to appear for these? Because we have got many doctors who are now interested in pursuing law as a degree, because medical profession is seeing a lot of, changes, and lot of medical legal aspects have started coming in. So many of the doctors who are rather better at understanding the nitty-gritties associated with the medical professions, they are opting for law as a career. So that they can combine their knowledge of law and as medicine to become medical legal experts. So if they wish to pursue a career in law after doing medicine, PG or graduation, so is there any age limit for them, for them to appear for the entrance exam and take admission?
Earlier it was there, the age limit was there. It was earlier 20 for 5 years law, and 30 for the 3 years LLB program. But then lately a case was filed, a petition was filed, and the Supreme Court declared that there is no age for learning. So now, fortunately, the case is still pending. But now all the age bars have been lifted. So unless and until the statements or the final verdict comes in, right now when we are discussing, there is no age limit. for 3 years
Great.
LLB.
Great. So, are there any the faculties which teach? You said there are diplomas in medical legal laws. So, are these faculties different, or they depend from college to college? Like, what are they? Which kind of faculties are they? So, you said basically that anybody who is in who has done LLB, they can practice all kinds of the laws in the country. But for teaching, they need to have LLM or PhD. That is what you said later on, at least, not
Yes,
initially
yes.
when they're joining. So when they're teaching the medical legal law, do they need to have some different specifications for the diploma?
So there are certification courses also available in the field of law. If you want to study more about intellectual property rights, so you can do a certification in IRP. If you want to go for cyber law, so there is a different certification. And nowadays, online education has like taken over very easily the offline one. So you coming from any background, you have any degree, you can still do the certification courses. If you just want to add a legal aspect to your particular profession. So there are certification courses for doctors as well, wherein they are not required to go for 3 years LLB. I can mention them also after the session, or I'll share it with you directly. Like Upgrade is a very good website. From there you can do certification courses. Law Seco is a very good website. They are still offering the certification courses. So if you just want to have a basic knowledge of law, you're not looking to make a career in law, I would suggest go for some certification courses so that you are able to understand as law as per your field. But if you actually want to go into this field, then you can go for the 3 years law program, a proper 3 years law program from any of the central university. Talking about the specialization, so if as I said, in the litigation, you're not required to have any kind of specification, because in NLUs and in the colleges, they do not offer a particular stream related course. So if you say, as I was saying, that it is BLLB, they never write BLLB in sociology, they never write BLLB in criminology, right? So they will be teaching you everything. But yes, because it's an honors degree, some kind of specialization will be there. But that doesn't mean you cannot take up the cases of other kind of field. But when it comes to certification or advanced diplomas or advanced certification, or you're going for LLM, then you will be offered what kind of specialization you want. And based on that, you can go for your PhD also.
So anybody who does LLM in a particular specific, a section of law, does that mean that they can practice only that specific part of the law, or otherwise still all other fields also remain open to them, but they specialize in this particular aspect? Like how we have in medicine, like, if we do specialization in a particular specialty field, then we are supposed to be practicing basically only related to that field. So does it happen if you do LLM?
No, it doesn't happen, because when you complete your LLB, that is Bachelor of Laws, so you are eligible to go for All India Bar Council examination, which is a license examination to become an advocate. So lawyer and advocate are two different terms. Normally we use it as a synonym or interchangeably, but that is not the case. Lawyer is a person who knows law, who has studied law, but he's not practicing it. So to practice in the court of law, you need to have a council's license, bar council's license. For that, you have to write an exam, that is AIBE. That is the Bar Council's entrance exam, All India Bar Council examination. After you have cleared that exam, then you will be awarded a license. And after that, you can write your name, the abbreviation, that is advocate. So once you're advocate, now you can practice all kinds of laws, because advocate exam or advocate license is given to you right after your LLB, wherein you were not doing any kind of specialization. That is why in the eyes of government or in the eyes of court, you can take up any kind of cases, because LLM happens after AIBE. So AIB is happening before LLM. So LLM will add on to your career, or it will take you to next ladder, but that doesn't mean you cannot take up the cases of other streams.
Okay, so got it. All right. There's a question that like you said, for judiciary, getting into the judiciary, they have to give initially one exam which takes you to the class 2 cadre of the judiciary. So how do they progress in judiciary? Like, what is every step there is an exam, or it is based on the number of experiences or the cases they worked upon? How is it? How does the judiciary process progress?
So there is a difference in judiciary also. There is a lower judiciary and there is a higher judiciary. At lower judiciary, the entrance is going for the state judiciary examinations. So if you go for Maharashtra state judiciary examination, you are actually going for the lower judiciary part, wherein your journey will start as a class 2 officer, as a district judge, but at a class 2 level. Then you'll be promoted to class 1, then you'll be become ADJ, and then DJ, and then you'll gradually be promoted based on the experiences, based on the number of cases, based on your remarkable I'm sorry, based on your remarkable judgments you have done and your experience. But when we talk about higher judiciary, someone coming from lower judiciary, if he or she wants to upgrade to higher judiciary, then he has to again write exams, the entrance exams. But the good thing with higher judiciary is, if you have means if you haven't done the lower judiciary, you're a senior advocate, you have completed your practice of 7 years, you're still eligible to directly go for higher judiciary. So either you go from the lower judiciary path, you have to write the entrance exam of higher judiciary, or you practice in the court for 7 years. Minimum age is 35 years, and after 35 years and 7 years of practice, then you can go for the higher judiciary examinations also. And then you can think of entering into high courts and then Supreme Court. But yes, from high court to Supreme Court is a matter of experience. There's no entrance examination. So there is only one round of examination. Either we talk about lower judiciary or higher judiciary. After that, it all matters on your experience and your work culture.
Great. I think, and anybody who gets into the judiciary part, so this will be all government related
Right.
jobs. So do they have the right to practice private, or it is only once they get into the judiciary, it is only the judiciary that they will be limited to?
It is very highly classified post. Even they're not even allowed to talk any case or discuss any case with their better halves also, because it is the matter of law.
Absolutely.
So this is this is highly classified job, as I said. So now you can understand the reputation of that post. So even they're not allowed to talk about the cases with their better half. So
true,
practicing outside the courtroom is like crime for them. They will be directly fired from there.
Okay, so
yeah,
yes, it
they
is
cannot
highly,
do that.
Yes, highly classified job. Great. So I think it has been a real pleasure talking to you and understanding all the nitty-gritties about this career as in law and judiciary. Basically, of course, it is very close to my heart, because my son has done given this CLAT entrance exam after 12th, and yes, Legal Edge has been the prime source of his knowledge, and he has done it with Legal Edge. And with your help, he has secured admission to NLU Jodhpur this year. So this is so this is very close to my heart. And we have our President-elect of IMA Maharashtra State, Dr. Ravindra Kute sir, here with us. Sir, would you like to say a few words before we finish the session today?
First of all, congratulations, Archana Pate madam, for arranging such a wonderful lecture. And second, Mr. Shah Nawaz, who has elaborated the topic very well. My question is in chat box.
Yes, sir. I have already taken it up, that we can take it up, and there is no age limit. He has already said it. So even at 60, since there is no age limit at 60 or above that also, per se, till the time judgment comes in, he has said that it is open to anybody to pursue it.
And we are expecting, ma'am, the judgment will come into the favor, because see, the legal knowledge of legal is a constitutional right of every citizen of the country. And that is why Supreme Court is very clear that there should be no age bar when it comes to understanding the law education.
Absolutely. So it all depends on whether, yes, sir.
That is okay. But most of the doctors, even after MBBS or after post-graduation, once they settle into the medical profession, side by side they do LLB and LLM. So afterwards, whether they can practice full-fledged in the law faculty.
Yes, sir. If you have done your LLB, be it be 3 years LLB or 5 years LLB, you are eligible to write the AIBE entrance exam. That is All India Bar Council examination. That is a examination to become an advocate. So all the LLB holders can write this exam. It's an open book test even. It's not a very difficult test. So you have to write that test, and you'll be awarded a license number, and then you'll be considered as an advocate. And once you are an advocate, you have to register yourself as a particular state lawyer, or you can take up a license of Pan India also. So if you have a license of Pan India, you can practice at any court in the country. Although if you don't have the license and your client is facing any problem, suppose I am working at Maharashtra State and my client got into accident at let's say Haryana, so I can still represent him at the Haryana court. But for that, I need some special permissions. But they cannot snatch that right from me. I can actually practice over there. But yeah, so this is not a practice. This is a kind of case. But if you want to practice full-fledged in Haryana, then you need to have either the Pan India license or the local state license. Yeah.
So
Sir, but if correct me
for-
if I'm wrong, that if you want to practice as an advocate after doing your degree in medicine, you cannot be registered at 2 councils simultaneously, and you have to submit your medical license, and then you are able to practice with the bar license, you know. So correct me if I'm wrong over here. You cannot be registered with 2 councils. So yeah,
Yes.
I think Kutte sir, this answers your question.
So that is what I want to get it clarified from Shah
Yes, sir.
Nawaz.
You have to register,
For
you have to
appearing-
submit
yeah.
your medical license.
Yes, for appearing AIBCE, whether there is a prerequisite for doing juniorship with some senior lawyer, that is one. And then you cannot practice or you cannot register at 2 different
Councils. True.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So is there any other question, or can we finish the session for today? Oh, thank you so much. And it has been an absolute pleasure talking to
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so
And
much, ma'am.
my
Thank you.
sincere thanks to Ms. Sukruti Gagrani, who has been instrumental in getting us in touch with you and for organizing this session. And to, of course, Mr. Harsh Gagrani. Thank you so much.